I want to thank you guys first for inviting me. One of my first missions when I started was to kind of reconnect with the community. I'm not sure how long each individual has been on the council here, but does anybody know any history about the Boys and Girls Club of Gloucester? Because I didn't, and I've lived here for about 20 years. My daughter used to attend a few years ago, right before COVID, and Gary Ripple, I don't know if any of you guys know him, was the unit director there. I think what's happened is there's been a lot of between COVID and then Gary leaving and there being like a turnstile of unit directors. I think the Boys and Girls Club itself has lost a lot of relationships in the community. So that's what I'm kind of trying to come back to do. My background, I'm from Virginia Beach. I've lived in Gloucester Point now for like 21 years. I ran career colleges for 14 years. If you guys remember, it's Centura now. It used to be Taiwan Tech on Denby Boulevard. I ran an ITT Tech. I ran an Empire Beauty School. I ran a school called Aviation Institute of Maintenance. And then for 2 years, I was a regional manager for School of Rock, an after-school program. So my background's kind of like educational operations, which I think, and then like community interfacing, which I think lends itself towards this position and trying to kind of get Boys and Girls Club back to where they want to be. I have a lot of like older students and old employees and volunteers stop by and be like, we had 120 kids here once upon a time, and kind of I'm competitive with myself and some of the other clubs that I'll mention here in a minute. So I kind of want to get us back to at least closer to that, and then serving the community. I think we offer some cool stuff that a lot of parents in this community may or may not know about. So our mission, just to throw it out there, is empowering young people to reach their potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens. We're one of 12 clubs that fall under the Boys and Girls Club of the Virginia Peninsula, basically from Hampton to Gloucester. So majority of our clubs are in the Hampton and Newport News areas. Majority of them serve underserved populations. We're a little bit unique in Gloucester. We have a wide range of parents, if you can imagine. We have very low-income families and then people who have very nice houses on the water. And it literally, and I don't think any other club, like within our division, can really kind of say that. We have a large swath of people that we serve. The program offerings that we have, I wrote all this because there's so much going on. I just wanted to make sure I hit on everything. But we do a lot more. I think some parents get the impression that you just drop your kid off and they run wild all around the club for a few hours. Sometimes that's the case. But we offer like very structured programming, sports and rec. We'll do everything from we play basketball indoors, baseball, soccer and football. We have a skating rink. That's kind of what we're known for, is we have an indoor skating rink. It's kind of self-made. It's not necessarily like you would imagine a skating rink to be, but it works. I think they got skates donated some 15 some years ago. So that's one of the things I'll mention. If I forget to mention it, we're going to be doing a roller skate or rollerblade drive to try to get more skates, because the skates we have right now are falling apart. So we do a lot of art. So a lot of art programs, and you guys can imagine there's different kids that gravitate towards different things. So we try to make it to where, at least in the after school program, which I'll get to in a minute, that kids are happy there and they're doing what they want to do. For the most part, I want kids to get a well-rounded like education, as far as like, let's go play some soccer. You need a little bit of physical activity, that sort of thing. But for like the meat and potatoes of what they do there every day, I want them to gravitate towards what they want to do so that they're happy and they're actually doing something instead of on their phone, which you guys know is a huge issue, I'm sure, in the schools and stuff too. So we do art programs. We do STEM. So our STEM lab is supported by the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. They send 4 to 5 of our kids to a baseball camp every year in Aberdeen, Maryland, and they sponsor our STEM lab. And they actually just 2 weeks ago sent us roughly $8,000 worth of equipment for our STEM lab. So we have a really cool STEM lab that already had some cool stuff, but now it's going to have additional things like a 3D printer. We have a lot of like robotic and programming type toys, electronic type toys like snap circuits, if you guys know what those are. So kids can kind of build different little projects like little fans or thermometers or that kind of stuff. So we do, as part of that, kind of consider it STEM. We have a computer lab at the Boys and Girls Club as well. We do what's called Project Learn. So that includes something like called Power Hour. So I know when I went to school, I had a lot of homework and I carried a lot of books, but that doesn't seem to be the case nowadays. Kids say they never have homework, but we have an hour when they get there that's dedicated to helping kids with homework and tutoring. We have a long time volunteer who I'd like to give a shout out to, and we're planning on doing something soon. So if you see her, please don't mention it because I want it to be a surprise. But if anybody knows Trisha Wolford from Abington Elementary, she's been volunteering with us close to 20 years now. And she has her own little like office area that's near our cafeteria. In addition to Project Learn and like the Power Hour that we call it, we do a lot of stuff kind of more STEM related. We'll have like paper airplane competitions. The kids love that for distance or like stunts and things like that. So that's where I kind of like to gravitate towards. And we've been a little low staff like a lot of places. So I've kind of been stuck at the front desk, but we just had a couple new hires. So I'm hoping I can wander around the club more and play with the kids. So we have healthy habits. So we actually offer a dinner and a snack to the kids every single day. For our after school program, it's $25 for the entire calendar year. We receive money as part of a grant through the Department of Agriculture for every meal we serve. It's actually the same for the school system as well. So we serve a dinner and a snack. Dinner's served normally around 4:30 for our elementary school kids, and then we do a snack around 5:30 to 6, depending on how many kids we have there. Also under healthy habits, we do like cooking classes and things like that, and then just like classes where we'll have, and I'll get to it at some point, we have Rappahannock Community College nursing students come out and they'll do certain classes on nutrition and things like that. And that all falls under healthy habits. We have leadership programs. So we basically, it's in essence like a student council. We have a torch club that's like middle school age kids. And they are charged with, there's a president, vice president, et cetera, treasurer, and they're charged with helping us to interface with the community and kind of help us be a liaison between like the younger kids and the staff as well, which I'll get to some of those things that we're doing a little bit later. And then there's other like what I call like special programming that we do. We actually do mentorship. So I have 10 kids that I mentor personally that falls under it's OJJDP. So it's Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. So we try to find like 10 quote unquote at-risk youth that I sit with weekly for an hour each week. And then we do mentorship and we talk about school and grades and what's going on, what they would like to see at the club, what's going on at home, that sort of thing. And then we do under that same umbrella, there's the military mentorship that we do through OJJDP. And summertime we'll have a lot, if you can imagine. We're a pretty, I think, large commuter town, and most of the people that live here work on the other side of the bridge. So during the summer, I'll have close to like 25 to 30 military students. So each one of them is enrolled in this program, and in turn helps us because we're not for profit with our grants and everything that we do. And then last but not least, and that's kind of where I'm coming in, like community collaboration. So I'm so thankful that you guys invited me here today so I can get to know all of you and hopefully get all your information. People that we work with so far where it's either like field trips, we've had people come out and talk to the kids, especially during the summer program. Gloucester Matthews Humane Society, Seaford Yacht Club, Kiwanis Club, Rappahannock Community College nursing program, and then of course like the local schools. And then we do a lot of field trips and guest speakers, and now that I have more staff, we hope to do more of that as well. So I think our first field trip that we're planning now that we have new staff is going to be to take the kids to the Gloucester Matthews Gazette and let them see the process and maybe even have them write an article. So I skipped probably the most important part. So basically, we have two different programs. One is our after school program. It's $25 for the entire calendar year, and we're open from 11 to 7, but we have kids that are there from 3 to 7 p.m. Essentially, we'll have our middle schoolers there that are at 3 o'clock, and then that's Page Middle School, they drop off, and then we have 3 elementary schools that drop off with us right now. It's Abington, Body Tot, and Achilles. From what I understand, I don't know if anybody here knows, I've been trying to get the answer, but we used to serve more schools prior to COVID that used to bus or transport to us. And I'd like to try to eventually, I might be jumping the gun here on where I'm at, but like get to the point where I can talk to somebody about how we can maybe discuss getting those schools back as well, or at least doing a um, like a Q&A with a PTA of that school or something to see if it would be justified. As of right now, there are some clubs like in our organization that would charge a weekly bus fee because you can imagine gas gets expensive. We right now, as of right now, we do not charge anything, even for the schools like Page or Achilles that are coming from further away. In our after school program, we're roughly serving 60 on average a day. So I'd say like obviously between like 50 and 70 is kind of what we'll get. It's a turnstile as in terms of kids and parents because we have some that are getting dropped off from the bus and getting picked up immediately. We have kids that are staying there till 7. Like I said, you can imagine majority of parents, what's happening is they're coming from a job over the bridge and they're going up further north and they're picking their kid up on their way to wherever they live. In addition to the after school program, we offer a summer program. That's 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. And that program's a little different where we charge $50 a week and we average around 100 kids for that. Summer camp's a little bit more structured than our after school program. We actually have groups and then each group basically rotates through the building into each like program area that I mentioned. So it's more of like a well-rounded like education or experience, I guess you could say, versus our after school program where it's more like I always want to say student because of my background, but they keep telling me I have to say club member. So it's more club member choice. So some of our challenges and goals, basically, I'm looking to expand like our community outreach, increase awareness, growing that transportation outreach that I mentioned, and then like building relationships with you guys. We have a lot of volunteering opportunities, so I'm definitely going to be calling that number there. Right now I have 2 volunteers that for a while we had between 60 and 70 kids, and it was myself and 2 other staff people. And if you can imagine, that's pretty crazy. I have Miss Tricia who volunteers 2 days a week, and then Mr. Tony who basically comes and helps us clean our kitchen 2 days a week. So volunteers would be a huge thing for us, especially in the summer. I wanted to mention, I just started what I call like a junior staff program. We are trying to up our like tween and teen population. I know as soon as like mom or dad gives you the opportunity, you can go do this or go stay at home, especially nowadays, most kids are going to want to stay at home. So we're trying to get to the point where we're kind of become like a cool spot to hang out. So if you guys can imagine out here, I grew up in Virginia Beach, which was tons of stuff to do. Even if my parents dropped me off at the mall, I walked around Lynn Haven Mall more times than I probably ever want to admit. But like, there's not a lot going on out here, even to the point like I have my son with Williamsburg Soccer. He does travel soccer for the Tidewater Sharks. So just to try to provide an opportunity and get kids and parents to know that we're here, even if maybe it's more of a forceful parents. Hey, I'm gonna go drop you off here once a week. I don't like you sitting in your room every day on a video game or your tablet or whatever. But we do a junior staff program, which is kind of it incentivizes good behavior. So I'll pick a couple of those a month. We also do like a youth of the month. So I'll pick that. They get an award that's donated to us by the Kiwanis Club. So they get a trophy and a plaque. So basically, just if you guys could help spread the word about what we do, I'd greatly appreciate it. Again, I don't think a lot of parents know. Every time I talk to a parent on the phone when they're registering and they find out that we're here and that for the after-school program, their school bus will drop them off. They don't have to worry about rushing off or getting off work, or they can go back to work, or they can go get a part-time job in some cases, and that we're only $25 a year. I just can't tell you how many times I've heard. I had no idea. And even for the summer camp, $50 a week, and not bad-mouthing private daycares at all. But once parents find out they can come bring their kid to us for $50 a week versus whatever private daycare charges, I think they're jaw literally drops to the ground. So um, more average daily attendance for us equals more opportunities for us to fundraise and kind of keep the lights on, hire more staff, that sort of thing. So um, like fundraising wise, we are working with Dominion Energy. I don't know if anybody knows Melanie Rapp Beal. She's our like community liaison out here. I forget her official title, with Dominion Energy. We do some events with her. We host like a Dominion Energy retirement gatherings twice a year. We just applied for a grant with them. So basically, we're in an old Roses building. If you guys know the history of Boys and Girls Club, it's a massive building. There's an outside area that used to be like your garden center where you'd purchase stuff. We're looking to get a grant that's going to basically redo that outdoor garden area. So that kind of, and I'll have the Torch Club lead it, that like student council type committee that I mentioned. And we're going to plan to do like plant fruits and vegetables that we would then donate to Bread for Life. We work with Bread for Life. So like a lot of kids don't want to eat, or their parents tell them, just wait till you get home. We'd rather eat with you, which is totally fine. So we always have a lot of leftovers. So that gets donated to Bread for Life. But we like to do like have the kids start from scratch, learn horticulture and planting fruits and vegetables, donate those to Bread for Life. And then we want to do a flower garden as well, where we can like, plant roses and then have like donate those or bring those to like retirement communities and things like that. So it's kind of like the educational process of how you get to A to B, or A to Z, I should say, and then reaching out to the community and having the kids see that other end of it too, where it's like, where it's giving back. So, and there'll be a lot of things with that outdoor center that we can wrap in as well. We like to tie in like the beehive theme and the importance of bees, and we like to do like a butterfly garden and things like that. That's kind of in the works. We're looking at getting our flooring redone. I can give you guys, I think we have it next week, right? Next month. Yeah, so I can give you guys a tour next month. If please come out and see the club. But we're gonna have our flooring redone, and then last but not least, we're working. I'm gonna mess the name up. The Cook Foundation, we're trying to get a mural on the side of the Boys and Girls Club, kind of like the library has here, and then like downtown and stuff, something that kind of ties into the community. So, and I think it would make the area look nice. And we're trying to work on, if anybody's been in that parking lot at night, it's pretty dark and a little sketchy. So we're trying to work on lighting over there too. So, does anybody have any questions or anything for me? What's that? Oh, thank you. Yes, we have an open house March 17th, and that's 5 to 7. So if you could please help us push that. We would just like to, I would like to tour families and parents and community leaders that are interested in just kind of showing them around what we do and helping to get the word out. And then the other flyer I provided, I quickly just made yesterday, but I wanted you guys to kind of have like my contact info. Everything that we do, we enroll online. But I've included like our website, my contact info, for anybody that's interested. So cool. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Shirley Fallon here. Thank you so much. You guys do a lot of stuff.
Thank you.
So I work for the Northern Neck Behavioral Health and Peer Recovery. Our individuals that we work with are typically 18 and over. However, those 18 and over have children. And my question to you is I heard that that a child can be dropped off for just 1 day a week or 1 hour or something like that.
Absolutely.
We have a lot of individuals that might go to a support group and say it starts at 5 o'clock and then they have to pick up, well, obviously by 7. So what type of, is that still the $25 annual fee?
Yes, if it's during basically like the school year, it would be $25 annual fee. We have I have a decent amount of like homeschool students where the parents just drop them off because they want them to have that social interaction. So yeah, that would be part of that. If it's during the summer months, I might be able to work something out with you. Maybe we could talk about that through my admin office, but typically it would be like $50 a week. But I think there's opportunities for us to work something out where if it's just once a week or once every couple weeks, I think we can kind of find something.
That would be
to
offer young mothers or fathers that want to get that support. But
absolutely, yeah.
Children don't need to hear some of the things that
Right. You,
And then the other thing I had to ask, was your enrollment. You said that you have on an average 50 to 60. What is your end goal? How many individuals are you trying to serve?
that's a great question. So we like to be in roughly like 2 to 3 months time, around 75. And then right before the school year ends, we'd like to be around 100. Um, I started February of last year. We had on average around 100 kids for our summer program. So we'd like to have that around like 125 going into this summer, which I think is very doable for what we offer and the price. And like I said, I think some people get the impression that it's just sports and rec, which is obviously a lot of kids like to do that, and it's like our bread and butter. But we do so many other stuff as far as STEM and art and these leadership programs that we run as well. So you're welcome.
And just to circle back, since we can't meet here in March, we will be meeting, as you said, at the Boys and Girls Club next month. So
Yeah.
And you've been gracious enough to order some equipment, so hopefully we can do hybrid at that location too for those who can't attend, but we need to test it with all the equipment before we can apply.
Yeah.
That's where we'll be in March. Any other questions?
Any other question? Yes, ma'am.
Tracy, Forever Life. So the summer program volunteers and the junior staff program, actually, program, what are the ages for that? For the people who
It's essentially who we have. It's 6 to 18. Most of the time, the younger kids, it's kind of hard to have them. Oh, go ahead.
do you have volunteers that help out with that?
That would be so for the volunteers for like outward facing community initiatives. Would probably go through like I'd have it go through our Torch Club. And by the way, I think I've talked to you on the phone a few times. It's cool to see your face. So as far as like the community garden and even like I talked to one of the drivers recently about arranging a field trip, which we have a lot more opportunities for field trips in the summer just because we have a lot more time. But I'd love to arrange an opportunity for the kids to come out and volunteer and see what you guys do. And we have our own bus, so we can take between like 10 and 12 kids to different things. So I would love to have that.
Are you looking for volunteers?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I'm sorry, I probably misheard.
What would be the minimum age for that?
Minimum age would be adult age.
18?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. And they'd have to, it's an extensive background check. It's like FBI fingerprints and all that because they're working. So I only say that because I've had volunteers that start and it's such a long process that we lose a lot of people in the pipeline, but we just have to, if you can imagine, because they're working around kids. So just somebody that I just always want to throw that out in advance. So yeah.
Thank you all so much. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you. Thank you guys.